Clearly the ancient rabbis had no idea about modern wedding dresses when they designed that whole circling thing. Adam, if you lift her bed. Okay. Take a step forward. And just breathe. Just breathe. Bruchim habaim b'shem Adonai. Blessed are you who come here in the name of God. Ivdu et Adonai b'simcha bo lefana birnana. Serve Adonai with joy. Come into God's presence with song. We rejoice as Rachel and Adam stand beneath this chuppah, surrounded by loved ones and family in the presence of God, to join together in marriage. Mi yadir al hakol, mi baruch al hakol. Migadol al hakol hu yivarech chatan v'chala. O awesome and glorious and blessed God, grant your blessings upon this bride and this groom. Adam and Rachel, as you stand here beneath this chuppah, this symbol of your home together, pretty good real estate, by the way, for a first home, not bad. You're standing in a very sacred place. Adam, it was in this place that your parents were married 35 years ago or so, in this very hotel, at this very spot. What a wonderful coming together of history and tradition, of all of the cosmic events that brought you to this moment. Our tradition teaches that a chuppah is open on all sides because it is reminding us and teaching us that your relationship, your love, the friendship that you have is open on all sides as well, just as you have had to open up your heart on all sides to each other, to be welcoming and embracing of each other's family and friends, to invite them beneath and into the big tent that is your home together. And so present here are all the people that matter most to you in the world that could be here. And also present are the memories of loved ones who could not be here, but are looking down from heaven, who are shepping nachas, or crying tears of joy at this moment. We acknowledge their presence for blessing as well. Rachel, we remember of blessed memory your maternal grandparents, Adam, we remember of blessed memory your maternal grandparents, Joanne and Buddy, your paternal grandfather, Manny, and your Aunt Ellen. And Rachel, your paternal grandparents, Rudy and Polly, and your maternal grandfather, Alan. They are here also, and they join with all of us in offering you this blessing of Shehechianu, of arriving at this joyous and most wonderful occasion. So if you'll all join with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, creator of the universe, who has given us life, who has sustained us, who has enabled this bride, this groom, their families, their friends, and all of us to arrive at this joyous occasion. And we say together, Amen. Amen. In this union, the sacred work of creation goes on. God joins man and woman together, as was done at the very beginning of creation. In that moment in the story of Genesis and Bereshit, when God created human beings, God decided to endow human beings with a very special gift, one that no other being on the planet was given. And that was to be created b'tselem Elohim, in the image of God. The angels that were advising God at this time, there's a swan or something that wants to also offer comments and blessings. The angels that were advising God at this time were quite curious as to why God would bestow human beings with such a blessing as being created in God's own image when angels themselves were not. And so learning this, they conspired against God. Angels do that from time to time. And they said, we're going to hide this knowledge from human beings. One angel suggested hiding it at the bottom of the deepest sea. Another angel suggested to hide it at the top of the tallest mountain close to heaven where they could keep an eye on it. And a third angel, maybe the shrewdest of them all, said, no, let's hide it inside the soul of another human being, because that's the last place they would think to look. You have proven that angel wrong, because you have found your beshert, your soulmate, inside the soul and the heart of each other. You've looked, and what did you find? Meeting each other as you did at university, at USC, at a friend's birthday party, a classmate's birthday party. They sat you together, and it was from that moment, Rachel, you said that you knew in that moment that this was it, this was the guy. And then Adam, you knew it when Rachel went down for a visit to Palm Springs and insisted on visiting your grandmother while she was down there. and your grandmother knew it, and your parents knew it, that anybody who was your girlfriend who would insist on visiting your grandmother without you even being present was definitely one to keep. And so, thank God, you have kept each other and kept each other close. The proposal that took place in Malibu on your hike was just the beginning of this incredible union, this promise that you make to each other to spend the rest of your lives together, to love each other as much as you have for every moment of your courtship. I would say to you that I pray and I hope that you love each other the least today, that this serves as a new foundation for the love that you will build upon and that you will share with each other in the many, many years and many, many moments of joy, and I'm sure also some moments of oi, but in each of them you'll be with each other, and that love will grow and it will blossom, it will flourish, and God willing, it will bear fruit as well. By fruit, I mean grandchildren for your parents, just so we're clear. So a Jewish wedding ceremony has in it two parts. We talked about this a little bit when we were studying together. The first part is erusin, your dating life, your vows and your nuptials. We have to end your dating life before we begin nisuin, your married life. So to be sure of that, I want to make sure you've canceled your JDate account and your Match.com and all that. We're good to go. So to celebrate that, we take a Kiddush cup with wine, the symbol of joy. Which is the one from your family, Adam? This one?
Yep.
Okay. And this Kiddush cup comes from Adam's family. You've used it for simchas and celebrations and holidays and Shabbatot. We fill it with wine, the symbol of joy. It's filled nearly to overflowing. Just as your lives have been filled to overflowing with each other's joy and the joy that your family and friends have brought to you. In some ways, this cup looks backwards. It looks back at everything that brought you to this moment. All those late-night conversations that you had, the texting with friends to double-check if what you were feeling was really what was going on, the calls to friends, the visits with each other, all of the people that said, yeah, this is the one, stick it out, be with it, be in it. We drink to all of those. All of those moments. Now, don't we drink it? Yeah, we got to say a blessing. We drink to all those moments that brought you together. And so if we could all join together in the blessing over the fruit of the vine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, l'chaim, to life. You can share it with Rachel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'hitir lanu et hanisuin v'hanisuot, lanu al yadei chuppah v'kiddushin. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh amo Yisrael al yadei chuppah v'kiddushin. We praise you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and consecrates this marriage. We praise you, Adonai, our God, who sanctifies our people Israel through kiddushin, the sacred rite of marriage beneath the chuppah, and we say together, Amen. Amen. And so now I ask you, in the presence of God in this assembly, do you, Rachel, take Adam to be your husband, to love, to honor, and to cherish?
I do.
And do you, Adam, take Rachel to be your wife, to love, to honor, and to cherish?
I do.
And so Rachel and Adam will now exchange rings and speak words that will unite you as husband and wife. Do we have 2 rings?
I think that's 2.
Well done. The best man had 1 job. He did it. Let's give it up for the best man, Adam's brother. So if you'll take each other's ring. Now, a word about the rings that you're about to place on each other's fingers. Our tradition teaches that when we speak these vows to each other that you are about to impart to each other, they come from our head, but they're intended for each other's hearts. And so the rabbis, knowing this, said we should do something different with these rings than where you will wear them all the time. And instead, at the moment that you say the vows, you should place the ring on each other's right index finger, because there's a vein or an artery in that right index finger, according to the ancient rabbis, that is the most direct path to the heart, so that the words you speak penetrate most directly into the soul of each other. I should tell you that I was in my doctor's office recently, and they had a chart on the wall with all the veins and the arteries of the human body, and they make you wait, and you're looking through the tongue depressor drawer and all the other things. And so I looked at this chart, and it actually shows that vein or artery, it does exist, but it doesn't go to the heart, it goes to the small intestine, which is another way to a man's heart, I guess, too, so it works. So Adam, if you'll look into Rachel's eyes and place the ring on her right index finger, her pointing right index finger. There you go. Not all the way on. That's good enough. Hold her hand and look into her eyes. and repeat after me. Hareat
Hareat,
mikudeshet li
Mekudeshet li,
b'taba'at zo
Betaba'at zo,
kidat Moshe
Kidat Moshe,
v'Yisrael.
Yisrael.
Be consecrated to me
Be consecrated to me
with this ring
with this ring
as my wife,
as my wife,
in keeping with the heritage
in keeping with the heritage
of Moses and Israel.
of Moses and Israel.
And Rachel, if you'll take the ring and place it on Adam's right index finger and look into his eyes and hold his hand and repeat after me. Hareata
Hareata,
mikudash li
Mekudash li,
b'taba'at zo
Betaba'at zo,
kidat Moshe
Kidat Moshe,
v'Yisrael.
Yisrael.
Be consecrated to me
Be consecrated to me
with this ring
with this ring
as my husband,
as my husband,
in keeping with the heritage
in keeping with the heritage
of Moses and Israel.
of Moses and Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh amo Yisrael al yadei chuppah v'kiddushin. We praise you, Adonai, our God, who hallows our people Israel through the sacred rite of marriage beneath the chuppah, and we say together, Amen.
Amen.
You can put the rings on the proper fingers now. And Adam, I'm going to give you another Kiddush cup to hold. Don't drink this one yet either. Wait for the blessing. So we come now to the Sheva Brachot, the 7 wedding blessings. Do you need help with them? We come now to the Sheva Brachot, the 7 wedding blessings. Our tradition has had these blessings for generations, that you as a bride and groom should be showered with blessing, one for each day of the week, one for each day of creation, that the entire Jewish world celebrates in this moment, because though this moment is about you, no doubt, it's about something larger than you. It's about the continuity of the Jewish people. It's about the continuation of our tradition. It's about all of the things that your parents have been hoping and praying for the years and years that they have been raising you. They come together in this moment. That's a lot to bless. It takes at least 7 blessings to accomplish that. And we begin this one again with the blessing over wine, the symbol of joy, where that first cup was symbolic of everything that brought you to this moment. This is a cup of hope. This is a cup of a promise for the joy that's to come. Because as you drink from the cup of life, as you drink in the joy that each of you brings to each other, this cup will never be empty, because you are marrying the fountain of joy that you have in your lives. You are the one that replenishes each other's cup. You fill it to overflowing. And so Adam will raise a glass but not drink it till the end, okay? Got to keep an eye on you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shekol bara likvodo, amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer ha'adam, amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer adam b'tzalmo b'tzelem b'nunato, v'chinan v'kinenad, v'chikin lo minyan binyan beyad. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'adam. Sos tasis v'tagel tzion b'kibutz banecha, l'tocha b'simcha. Baruch atah Adonai mesameach Zion b'invanecha. Sameach tesamach ruim ba'ahuvim, kisimcha v'yitzarach b'gan eden mikedem. Baruch atah Adonai mesameach chatan v'kala. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bara soson v'simcha chatan v'chala, asher bara soson v'simcha chatan v'chala. Gila rina ditza v'chedva ava v'achva v'shalom v'reut. Gila rina ditza v'chedva ava v'achva v'shalom v'reut. Mechera Adonai Eloheinu yishma ba'ar Yehuda u'v'chutzot Yerushalayim. Kol sason v'kol simcha, kol chatan v'kol kala. Kol sason v'kol simcha, kol chatan v'kol kala. Kol mitzolot hatanim mehupatam, anarim nishten neginatam. Baruch atah Adonai mesameach hatanim hakala. We praise you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, creator of joy and of gladness, of bride and kinship, of love and kinship and bride and groom and peace and friendship. O God, may there always be heard in the cities of Israel and the streets of Jerusalem the sounds of joy and of happiness, the voice of the groom, the voice of the bride, the shouts of young people celebrating, the songs of children at play. We praise you, Adonai, our God, who causes this bride and this groom to rejoice together. And we say together, Amen. L'chaim. Come a little closer. So, a few words of blessing before we break the glass and pronounce you husband and wife. First, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for inviting me into your life, for inviting me into the larger tent that is your relationship. It has been such a privilege and such a pleasure to get to know you through this process, both in person, the few times that we've had an opportunity to do that, and over Skype as we were talking with each other. You are a remarkable couple. The love that you have for each other, the respect that you have, the way that you have incorporated each other's families into each other's lives. I mean, that visit, Rachel, to Adam's grandmother is only emblematic of the larger love and connection that you each have for each other and the respect that you have for your parents. As I was writing down the things that I admire about the two of you, one of the things that leapt out at me is how much you admire each of your parents' marriages, how they have served as a dugma, as an example, as a model for you. And you told me time and again how you learned so much from them and how they love each other and how they communicate with each other, and how it is your prayer and your hope that you'll be able to mirror that in some ways in your own lives. I think that speaks tremendously of them. It also speaks wonderfully of the two of you as well. I also wrote down that one of the other things that I really admired was just how incredibly down-to-earth and humble the two of you are. I mean, you are remarkably accomplished for such young people, and I say that being only relatively a little bit older than you are. But, you know, you've arrived where you are in your careers. You have a stable life. You have stable friendships and relationships. You're in a beautiful city. You're, again, surrounded by your family, and you are very much aware of that as a blessing. Time and again, as I was speaking to you, you didn't take any of that for granted. There was no sense that any of this was due to you, but rather something that you appreciate and acknowledge and you recognize is fragile, and it's something that you have to constantly nourish. And I see you doing that all the time, just in the bits that I've had a chance to visit with you. I admire that tremendously also. I think it'll serve you well. So I asked the two of you what it was that you admired about each other, what it was that you loved about each other. And Rachel, you said of Adam that you love how kind he is. He's caring and thoughtful, that he's generous and gracious and selfless, that he makes everyone in his life feel valued and important, you most of all. That he's always there for others, that he treats you with such love and respect in the same way that he treats his parents and his grandparents with love and respect, and that you really love being able to be with him and to live with that and to get to be part of that trust and in that circle. And that you admire his drive and his dedication in his career, his work ethic, and his diverse interests. Adam, you said of Rachel that you love how down-to-earth she is, that she too is beautiful and humble and compassionate and patient, intelligent and hardworking. How much joy it is to just be with her, that you can be together not doing anything, and that is doing something because you're with each other. And that she is so incredibly nurturing. Even though you say you're perfectly capable of taking care of yourself, you love that she likes to take care and nurture you as well, and you feel that that is a blessing. And that you admire her friendships with her friends and her family, how she's stayed connected even through the distance that is an international border and across a continent. You said one other thing, the two of you, you both said it about each other. You said that there are moments when you'll just turn to each other and you'll just say, and Rachel will do this most often, isn't it fun? Isn't it fun that we get to spend the rest of our lives together? I hope that you're feeling that in this moment now too. With all the stress of the party and the thing, isn't this fun? Isn't this wonderful? Just a few days ago, we celebrated the Jewish New Year. We began the new year with a process of cheshbon hanefesh, of examining our souls, of looking deeply within and seeing where we could have done better in our lives, the relationships that needed nurturing and tending, and then making a promise through the process of tshuva of going about and doing that. Our rabbis teach us that we should do that every day of our lives. I think that that's a message for marriage also. I think it's one that you have already been practicing. To constantly be reflective, and as you already have been, to be appreciative of the blessings that you have in your life, and to whenever possible acknowledge them and share them with each other. And so if I have a prayer for the two of you, is that you never stop expressing what I know you are always feeling. That you always give voice to the love that is in your heart, the feelings that you have for each other. Because as you have shared it with me and as you've shared it a bit with each other, I know it is a remarkable source of power. It's a remarkable source of love. It's a remarkable source of friendship. And it is the thing that is, I think, really what you're marrying each other for, to have that partner in your life. What a blessing you are to each other and to all of us that know you. So we're going to take your talitot here, and we have two of them. Rachel, yours comes from your grandfather Rudy. He wore it in Winnipeg. He was a Holocaust survivor. He wore this every day at shul. And Adam, yours also comes from your great-grandfather. He was a cantor. And we're going to make a second chuppah, a second symbol of your home together, and I'm going to ask your parents to help me do this as we wrap you in these fringes of tradition. Yeah. Well, we're going to do both, so let's hold them together like this. And then I'll ask Adam's parents to hold this part here and to wrap you in them. And come a little closer to me. There we go. Okay.
Yep.
The veil's the first thing coming off after this ceremony. We give you this blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May God's face shine upon you and be kind to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God always be with you through all of life's journeys and grant you the greatest blessing of all, that of wholeness and completion, the blessing of shalom, of peace, and a world and a home and a family filled with peace. And we say together, Amen.
Amen.
Can let go of that. I'll take those. Don't step on this yet. Okay. So why do we break a glass at a Jewish wedding? There's many explanations. The three that often come up, or at least the two that often come up, is one that we break a glass to remind us of the destruction of the first and the second temple, that there could be no joy in the Jewish world as the Beit HaMikdash, as our ancient sanctuary, lays in ruins. A second explanation you'll find amongst the Kabbalists is that we break the glass to make a loud noise, to scare away evil spirits that like to come to joyous occasions. They're not allowed in Beverly Hills, but still we do it. A third explanation, and the one I think I shared with you when we were studying together, is that this glass, like the two of you, it enters beneath this chuppah in one state and in one status. And Adam, when you crush it into 100 pieces, it, like the two of you, will never be able to go back to what you were or what it was before this ceremony. But far from being shards of glass broken and in pieces, when you break this glass, you guys become something new and whole and holy. And Adam, even if you were to take the glass and try to glue it back together so you could go back to life before the wedding, I take one piece of glass from every wedding I've done over 20 years and put it in a box with all the other weddings, just to frustrate your plans. The next step is yours. Mazel tov! Ladies and gentlemen, Rachel and Adam.
Going right or left?
This way, I guess.
I'm smiling.
Again?